Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on African Confessions. The following story that you're going to be listening to, it comes from a translation of a message that I received. The translation reads like this. Hello, Brother Nashi, how are you? Can you please post my own story as hidden identity? I am a young man who is 20 years old. Both of my parents, they are in South Africa. They are working there. When my dad first got the job in South Africa, he left for South Africa and he left my mom. But soon after that, then my mom rejoined my dad and my young brother. As for me, I refused to go to South Africa because of some of the things that I was doing here in Zim. First of all, my parents didn't know that I had actually committed a crime and I have a criminal record. So I was scared that by the time that we'll start to apply for the visas, then my parents were going to find out that I had been arrested and I had a criminal record. So I said that the education here, it is far much better. Let me finish up my education, then I will come and join you in South Africa. But what happened, Brother Nash, is that when I was in Form 3, I started drinking a lot of alcohol because, like my parents, each and every month they will send some money from South Africa so that I can take care of the bills and to buy myself some groceries. Since at our house, my mom had given me the permission to put some tenants, so I'll also be getting that money, and I didn't know what to do with the money, so I ended up drinking a lot of alcohol. At the bar where I used to go to, I met these other 3 guys. These guys, they just grew up in the prison system, and when they came out, they were planning like a big robbery, and it was the first time that I ever handled a gun, but unfortunately we were arrested. This was after we had robbed this other soldier. We robbed him off his car with the intention of stripping the car. That was what they had told me that we were going to do, but none of them didn't know how to drive, so they hooked me up and I was the driver for this job. But we then got arrested. So since I was not the mastermind, when I got arrested, I was then released, but my mom and dad do not know about this story. I'm sure that the day that my mom is going to find out about this story, my mom is going to collapse. At that time, people thought that maybe I had gone for the illegal gold mining. My mom kept on warning me, telling me that I should stop what I was doing, but I said that I am a man. So I returned back from prison. I then made a promise to myself that I was never going to get involved with these criminal syndicates, and I just wanted to go back to school. To my mom's surprise, I told her that I wanted to continue with my high school, and she allowed me to do that. And she asked me where I wanted to go to. I ended up coming to Gweru, where I am currently staying, and I then got a room. So at the place where I was staying, it is really close to MSU, and there was this other bar that I used to go and hang around. That is when I met this other lady that they used to call Manjuzu, in brackets, a Maymate, because she is light-skinned and very beautiful and very attractive. I was also attracted to her, but she warned me and she said, "You do not have any money. You are still a school-going kid, yet you want to have a girlfriend that is as beautiful as I am." I told her that my dad in South Africa has a nice job. That was when the girl decided to date me, and we started dating whilst she was still working in that bar. So I would be sleeping with her in the bar. Then early in the morning, she would go to freshen up at her room. Sometimes we would go and we will continue with our love making at her room. But a lot of people, they used to call her the Maymate, because of her beauty. After I had finished my high school, I lied to my parents that I wanted to go to college, but I was not going to college at all. I was actually faking the reports as if I was now going to MSU. But what I was doing is that I was just staying with this girl. This girl, Brother Nashi, all of a sudden, she started making a lot of money. She opened up a first flea market, but this was after she had traveled to Mozambique. When she was in Mozambique, when she said that she was going to buy some second-hand clothes for her flea market, Brother Nashi, I swear to you that there was something that would wake me up at night, then have sexual intercourse with me, because when I would wake up the next morning, I would find out that on my thighs there will be actually sperms. After sleeping with a woman, if you do not clean yourself up, you will see that there will be some whitish stuff. That is what I'll see early in the morning. So I thought that maybe I was actually masturbating when I was fast asleep, since I was in that habit of masturbating whenever I would be feeling really bored. So I just dismissed that fact. So I just dismissed this spiritual attack that was happening to me, and I said, I think that I am masturbating when I am fast asleep. Fast forward, Brother Nashi, when this woman returned back, she started a flea market and she was making a lot of profit. Within a very short period of time, she managed to buy a phone for me. She bought an iPhone for me, Brother Nashi. And this lady started telling me that she was building this other house here in Gweru as well. She refused to tell me where exactly she was building this house. It was only after when the house was fully built, that was when she took me to the place where she was building her house, and then we started to buy some properties for her house. We bought like everything in a day, and we started staying at her house. Then there was this other night when me and my girlfriend, we were sleeping in our bedroom. When I woke up, I heard her singing outside. So I then opened the curtain just a little bit, and I saw her. She was wearing this very long white garment, like those ones that they wear in the white garment churches. That was what she was wearing. Then I called her, but she didn't respond to me. So I said, let me go outside. But what surprised me is that the bedroom door, it was locked from the inside. Even when I went outside, Brother Nashi, I saw this creature that I still do not even understand up until this day. It seemed as if it was a hyena or a dog. This creature just barked at me once, then it disappeared. The way that it disappeared, it was like the earth opened itself up, the ground opened itself up, then this dog or the hyena just sank into the earth. So I was really feeling scared, and I started calling out her name loudly. By the time that I went at the back of the house where she was, then she started screaming at me and insulting me, and she said, what do you think you are doing? Who gave you the right to be screaming and calling out my name like that? Then she walked back indoors. So I followed her. When she turned around, well, at least I was shouting at her, I saw that her eyes were like the eyes of a snake. I only looked at her once, then I collapsed. Left me, Brother Nashi, in that situation on the kitchen floor, and she went to bed and she fell asleep. When I woke up, I think it was maybe 2 hours that had passed, and I went to bed and I found her to be snoring, and she was fast asleep as if nothing had happened. I woke her up and she said, please do not disturb my peace. So she has been stubborn like that ever since that night. Now what happened last week was that I was busy watching Netflix. She had gone out to check out her flea markets. So while I was sitting on the couch, and I then started to feel as if there was someone that was busy rubbing my manhood. So I looked around because I felt there was a presence, like there was another woman that was with me in that living room. And I then fell asleep. When I woke up, Brother Nashi, I saw that my manhood, it was outside of the trousers that I was wearing. The zipper was even opened, and the skin on my manhood was actually moving, and my manhood was erect. After I had woken up, I can say that maybe 3 or 4 seconds later, then I saw that I was ejaculating, and it was really feeling great. I had never had such a feeling in my life. It felt so great. But in the living room, there was a smell as if someone had opened tinned fish. Brother Nashi, when I saw that this is what was happening, I then attempted to move out. I then told her that tomorrow I will be leaving and I do not want to stay here anymore. If you love me, you are going to follow me. So on that same night, I had a dream. In my dream, it was this girl and we were standing by the river, and she looked at me after she had said, let us get into the water, and I refused, and she screamed and she said, I said, let us get into the water, and I said, no, I'm not going into the water with you. And when I woke up, Brother Nashi, she was just standing in the middle of our bedroom and she was looking at me. Her eyes had changed and she started to cry. She was crying in anger and she said, so you want to leave me? And I said, no, I do not want to leave you, but the things that are happening in this house, they are scaring me. They are making me to be very nervous. So let us find another place that we can stay. So we started to have a shouting match with each other. So I took my small suitcase. Whilst I was packing my clothes, she came close to me and she said, you know the reason as to why people call me Manjuzu, in brackets, the mermaid? I said, no, I do not know. She said, because I am one. So she said that she is a mermaid, and if I attempt to break up with her, she is going to do something bad to me. This is my story, Brother Nashi. I am even afraid to go down on my knees, because she said, if you ever attempt to go down on your knees, you are going to see what I am going to do to you. Dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to me by our dear brother. Pray for your kids. As long as your child is staying in another town that is far from you, please try to pray for your kid. Strange things do happen in this world.